Dreadfields managed to genuinely scare me. It had me tense, checking over my shoulder and questioning every weird noise I heard around the farm. Right up until it sent me outside to chop firewood while a pitchfork-wielding chicken murderer was lurking around my property. But we'll get to that. Dreadfields is a slow-burn folk farming horror where you leave the hectic life of the city behind, buy yourself a cheap farm and move to the countryside. You pay the previous owner $3,000, he hands you a notebook of jobs to complete, and you get to work. And surprisingly, the farming side of Dreadfields is really enjoyable. You look after your chickens, a cow and a cat, you plant your garden, gather grass, chop firewood and go fishing, you consult your fish and hang them to dry, and store the milk and eggs you collect. Honestly, if they took the horror out and expanded the farming, I'd probably play it. But obviously, this is a horror game. And Dreadfields does atmosphere really well. The muted visual style gives the farm this rustic, weathered appearance, while the sound design constantly reminds you that something isn't quite right. You'll be doing something completely ordinary, like milking the cow or getting water from the well, and suddenly hear footsteps. And that damn well freaked me out every single time. There are also little things you catch around the farm where you're not entirely sure if you actually saw something. For atmosphere and scaring the shit out of me, Dreadfields gets a 5 out of 5. But then we have the firewood. Spoiler warning. At one point you hear a terrifying howl outside. Because this is a horror game and apparently we have no survival instincts, we go investigate. We find a dead rooster, killed with a pitchfork. The game throws up big red warnings telling us it isn't safe and to go back inside. So I run. I'm inside. I'm safe. Except now the game tells me it's dangerous without the stove going. Fair enough. Fire keeps the bad away. Except I don't have any firewood. The game wants me to go back outside. Excuse me? You just told me there's a pitchfork-wielding chicken murderer outside. There is absolutely no way this man is realistically walking outside and casually chopping firewood. We're barricading the door with the heaviest piece of furniture we can find. But no, apparently I have chores. So now I'm stomping outside to chop wood while the monster is lurking around the farm somewhere, and I'm not even scared anymore. And that's probably my biggest issue with Dreadfields. The atmosphere had me exactly where the developers wanted me. I was anxious, tense, and ready to discover what was happening on the farm. This scene pulled me out of the immersion. My ending left me with a lot of unanswered questions about the villagers, the rituals, the previous farm owner, and exactly what had been happening on this property. Horror doesn't need to explain everything. In fact, it's often better when it doesn't. But there's a difference between mystery and missing information. A mystery gives you pieces and lets you wonder how they fit together. Missing information leaves you asking, wait, what was any of that about? It is worth mentioning that Dreadfields has multiple endings depending on the choices you make, so another playthrough may turn out differently from mine. And around 2 hours long, replaying it and making different choices isn't a huge commitment. Overall though, is Dreadfields worth playing? Yes. What this game does well, it does really well. The atmosphere is excellent, the farming is surprisingly enjoyable, and it absolutely managed to scare me. The story left me wanting more answers, but I still finished the game thinking, okay, that was fun. Plus, we saved the cow and the cat. So yay! Dreadfields gets a 3.5 out of 5 from me. And if you want to see the full game for yourself, I have a no commentary playthrough available on our YouTube channel.